channel and War in the East 2. This is an old campaign that I found on an old PC of mine. Well, I actually knew it was there all along, and we're gonna go back to it and open up a bunch of old saves and check it out and create some sort of after action report. I couldn't tell you what version this was played, but it's old. It's really old. It's like close to when the game came out, and so it's like in 2021 spring, summer, and it's now summer 2023. So it's more than 2 years ago. So there are a few primitive functionalities of. I mean, the game was newly released. I think Christmas that year, so it's maybe a couple of months old only. Um, and also, I wasn't very experienced with the game. I'm still not, but I learned a lot playing this campaign, and I played it all the way into 1942 summer, maybe even into fall of 1942, which is quite long. I guess I'm. Um, so we will be opening and examining different saves. I have not gone through this. I just transferred them to my PC and open it up. And this should be turn 1, 22nd June. As you can see here, we lost about 300,000 troops, 6,000 artillery, 1,700 tanks, and 3,800 aircraft. It would seem rather normal to me. And I do believe the AI made a mistake and didn't close this pocket around Minsk. I think the AI got a better script back after this release. In the south, it would appear like the AI didn't make an encirclement, and also they advanced so far that they did unlock the Soviets to move their forces from the Romanian border. I'm not even sure if they were locked back then from this release of the game. Let's examine a couple of commanders' reports. I can't remember what I did with my action points, but if we check the stats here, so wait a minute. Oh, we still have 4 million. That's total, man. Okay, what about on the map? 2.6 on the map. So did I throw a lot of forces into the reserve pool? How many airplanes have we got on the map? Aircraft. Yeah. Oh, look, I have 8,600. Is that the Soviet? Yeah. So at this stage, I kept all the aircraft on the map. That's probably a big mistake. But I kind of like what I did here. Let's try to get a drawing tool going. What color have we got here? Can I? So we have a line, pen size. We have a line around Pskov. We have a line from around Veliki Luki. Guess I'm keeping these troops here. See, I still like to mount some sort of defense around Pskov, but maybe I was planning on actually holding this. I had some experience from War in the East 1, the first version, and a lot of things changed. Alright, let's see if we can hide the... the land... Okay, it seems like I did some changes here, or an attempt at holding the land bridge. Let's see. This army is Ivan Boldin, 4.5. It's a pretty... That might be the same. Maybe I exchanged it. I don't know if Boldin is one of the original. I don't think he's the commander of 19th Army at the start of the campaign. So maybe I gave this army a better leader, or maybe not. Oh, it's only 12 strength. Alright, so What else happened? I managed to pull back from the AI here towards Kiev, and I guess I pulled out from the Stanislav pocket here as best as I could, trying to establish a line. Fell back to this river outside Odessa. Oh, I am actually railing back mountain troops. Today I might have put these guys in the reserve pool and let them regain what you call it morale until they're 55 morale as elite troops, and then deposit them. I'm starting to build fortifications outside Sevastopol here. It's a bit early to do. And I'm trying to fortify a bit here along the river line. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. What can I tell you? I didn't know what I was doing back then. Right. So we're gonna go back to the load save games. And here we have, see, I have a couple of saves from start, from the AI, Smolensk. So I was doing a setup at Smolensk, and here's probably like a temporary file I was using. April 10th, 2021. Turn 2 end. These are my final setups for turn 2. So this is June 29th. We lost 100,000, another 2,000 artillery, 200 tanks, only 71 airplanes. But we did remove 490,000 troops from the map. So maybe I was sending troops back to the reserve to have them refit. I sent back 10,000 artillery and 3,000 tanks and 3,000 aircraft. I don't think I messed around with the theater boxes at all at this time. I didn't understand them. I hardly knew they existed. And see, I am trying to construct a proper defense line with security troops here around. Okay, how do I... Can I get rid of those? How do I clear? Wait a minute. Menu. Activate, help. Oh no, there we go. There we go. Is that the best color? Oh, there's a red color. I'm gonna use this. So yeah, here's my defense line, my other defense line. And I am actually defending in front of Vitebsk line. We have like a third line created here. So I'm definitely defending towards Moscow. I do seem to have some sort of troops in the towns here to build up. Let's see here if I can. Map info. Let's remove the. Oh, those are only headquarters. Yeah. I'm not sorry. I'm not defending the towns. I'm just stacking headquarters. I'm not disbanding core HQs. I'm not. Yeah. But I do seem to be creating some sort of tank army here around Vyazma. Is it? This is a nice one. 458 tanks, 7 on refit. Some 48 morale, so he's building up there. Yeah. I have kind of a decent line here around Gomel. I think I would defend this a little bit lighter now. I am not defending Kiev very heavily, only the original forts, and I emptied out the area in front of Kiev. I kind of like that move. I mean, there's no way you can stop Army Group South from reaching Kiev anyway, so lose as few troops as you can. I seem to have pulled out, moved as far as I can here with a few stragglers, and yeah, I think one of the saves just said abandon Odessa. Maybe it's the Odessa line I was referring to. It's more than 2 years ago, because I seem to have troops inside Odessa. Let's check the fortress. I only have headquarters here. So for now, I have one single division in Odessa. And I have two divisions outside, waiting to pop into the... I don't think I even knew how city forts worked at this time. Because obviously it's going to be hard for me to get these troops inside. As far as I know, you can only pop one single division inside each month. Unless you want to disband Odessa Coastal Artillery Division here. And I seem to want to defend around a little bit here Kherson with some mountain divisions. That makes sense. Okay, so I remember back in War in the East 1, it was kind of possible to defend this upper Dnieper river line against the AI at least, versus a human player, not so much. I'm saying Hearts of Iron. I of course mean War in the East 2. If you can hold a land bridge, that's a good job. I think this is not gonna go very well for me. But I have a second line here. But I mean, a human player would only encircle this entire army here. But the AI is not smart enough to do it. And they are pushing heavily in the south of Army Group Center. All right. Just a quick check before we finish here. Map. Let's see. Map, man. Yeah, I pulled out 500,000, I guess, into the reserve. It's just my guess. And a couple of guns disappeared. Some were lost, but some were put in the reserve. A couple of tanks. Yeah, I probably pulled stuff into the reserve by turn 2. So maybe I understood that you repair your morale faster in the reserve than you do on map. But you can't build forts in the reserve. Oh, will you look at this? I have a second line built around here, around Novgorod. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I kind of like this. I mean, it's not a bad line. Maybe take advantage of these marchers in front of Novgorod. I know what's gonna happen up here in Leningrad. You'll see something rather radical up here. So we're gonna go into turn 3. We have turn 3 end here. This is from the 30th of May. So okay, so there's been like more than a month since I started. Yeah, I guess I was playing rather slowly at the beginning, but at certain periods I play this campaign very intensely. Let's start. Okay, so here we lose another 130,000, 2,600, almost 1,000 tanks and 500 airplanes. I think these losses turn 3 are a bit too heavy. Really, if you kind of fall back from the advancing Germans, this way you are engaging the Germans. You are allowing their very powerful forces to inflict heavy losses on you while advancing, and you can't really stop them. So there's like not a good reason. He hasn't really reached. He just reached the Pskov line here. See if we can. See if we can analyze the entire central front. Okay, so this is what I did. Thought this was a good idea. I started constructing a defensive line with the militia in front of Moscow. And I remember that. I still have the line in front of Smolensk. I have like a secondary line in front of Vyazma. But look, we get a pocket down here from my land bridge. I don't think I was able to get these out. I mean, a human player would have crushed this line, obviously. And then I have like a skirmish line down here. The Veliki Luki line is holding turn 3. I think they sometimes is able to reach this line. And for now, the thinly held Pskov line is holding. And the German panzers are just in front of the strongest locations here, not trying to outflank from the south where we only have secured troops. So I guess, I mean, I wouldn't build this line this far back. I wouldn't plan on having the AI reach me this far towards Moscow. So this is kind of a waste here, and I think you'll see them move on the ground. They'll build forts here for a while, and then they'll have to abandon the forts and advance to shore up the line. And these forts, they will just be depleted, abandoned, and so not my best move here. Right, let's delete that and let's go south. Can we? Oh, right. Did I abandon Odessa? No, I have a single unit here. Did I? Okay, somehow I got 4 divisions in here. Okay, supply details. I don't know how you can tell how large this fortress. Yeah, you can. 50,000 troops. Okay, so somehow I got 4 divisions in here and a 5th. So I was defending Odessa in this campaign. All right. I can't remember, of course. And it seems like I'm using some security forces here in the south to put in the marshes. That's an actually fairly good idea. I think I might recommend having cavalry here these days because they don't disband on their own, and they have an easy time to retreat and run away from the Germans. And I am starting to build up fortification lines early around Sevastopol. I probably would have fortified the straits into the isthmus instead. Wow, couple of beat up tanks here, almost no infantry. Yeah, this line looks very thin, and I suppose they're up here. Okay. I do have some sort of skirmish line around, well, what would you call it? What's the nearest town? In front of Bryansk here. But obviously this line is not gonna hold. It's just to slow them down with a zone of control line. Whereas this is kind of a heavier line here, especially when you're not facing any enemy troops. Alright. Before we quit this, just check out. Alright. Still losing a lot of airplanes, whether I pull them out from the map or they're lost in combat. Still removing and losing a lot of tanks, still losing and removing a lot of artillery, and we're down to below 2 million, whereas the Axis get more. That's on map. I don't know what other stats to show you to have like a good overview of the campaign, so we're just gonna stick with that. Right. Now, yeah, maybe I should show you the settings, because I'm playing at 100 normal, but I increased the AI to 120. So if you pick a hard setting, there's a 20 power difference, but you go 90 human and 110 AI. I prefer to play with the normal human settings that you would playing normal or versus a human player. And then I strengthen the AI 20% instead of lowering myself 10 and strengthening the AI only 10%. I don't see why you want to play on 90%, because then your forces are weaker and you actually don't get a good feeling about what can I do on a normal setting. Anyway, that's just my take of it. Right, turn 4 end. This is the end of turn 4 from the 30th of May 2021. We lost 70,000. That's okay. 1,200 artillery and 300 tanks. That's rather. We're down, losing only 90 airplanes. So I guess I don't have a lot of planes on the map now, but I think that's kind of a heavy loss. The troops. Now I'm actually reinforcing here. We have an increase of 264,000 troops and artillery. Losing airplanes. Tanks almost the same. All right, let's see. Okay. I guess we gotten the Leningrad militia now. And what obviously happened here is that the German panzers, excuse me, oh, allergy. Right. The AI kind of niftily went up to the Skov line and kind of rested and refitted. And when they pushed through here, they made a very strong push. And just, I don't know how many troops they killed, but it's pretty clear that what remains here, this skirmish line, is really, really weak. And I haven't prepared this river line here. They have reached the Vialikuluki line. We have a secondary line here, probably reinforced with a couple of marine brigades and the militia. But this line is not strong to hold the Leningrad. This is like just remains from Pskov here. So I know this Leningrad push is very strong. We have the Vyazma line. We still have the Moscow line here. And that's about it in the north and center. So let's go to, excuse me, let's go to the, all right. Yeah, I am trying to build up some sort of line here from, okay, I'm still holding on to Smolensk, am I not? This is pretty weird defensive line here, but all the way to Bryansk. Then we just have a skirmish line here. That's fine, I guess. And the Gomel line, still holding on here, but checking out how the AI has a hole here, I think this is too much troops here. It's just a waste of force, because you need to pull back. They're gonna be outflanked one way or the other. All right. But all in all, the Bryansk kind of Smolensk line here looks rather nice, I have to say. Not strong enough to hold, but there is a line there. Oh, okay. And kind of looks like, yeah, I think this is the Caucasus army, what do you call it, front, taking shape here. Let's have a skirmish line here, some tanks and the forts. We have a breakthrough over the turn 4. They have crossed the Dnieper in strength. I wouldn't say that's uncommon unless you put a lot of forces here to do it. They have crossed at Cherkasy, so they have a rail. They haven't taken the other rail crossing here. So we have some sort of thin skirmish line here going. Oh, even here as well. And then I guess I'm starting to reinforce the Dnipropetrovsk defensive river line, which is, I mean, if you consider that the German panzers are turning this line, I think maybe, you know, focusing here might not have been the best choice. And back to red, please. We have a thin security line here. Yeah, you know, it's not a bad idea to just keep these marshes in the river slow down. And then we have a couple of mountain troops here. Did I abandon Odessa yet? Wait, I can see, no, 60,000 plus 1 division. There should be like 75,000 troops here. Yeah, okay, so I guess we were fighting over Odessa. So what happened on the map? Well, on the map, we are now above 2 million again. We increase with guns 2,500. We didn't deploy any tanks and our aircraft. We're around 4,000 to the Axis, almost 4,000, so about equal. I had no idea how the air system worked because I didn't play War in the West a lot. But I mean, sure, it's fine. So, admin. So that's the 13th of July, turn 4. So we're gonna go with turn 5. I don't have a turn 5 end. No. Okay. I don't know. I guess this is the latest turn 5. May 31st. Alright, let's go with that. I don't know what I did with my action points. I don't see a lot of forts. So maybe I was just exchanging leaders. I think I went and exchanged a couple of air headquarter leaders in this campaign. Can't remember. Okay, I removed that newspaper. Where's the newspaper? Is that it? Nope. Is that the newspaper? Nope. Wikipedia. Here, this one? Nope. Turn summary. There it is. Alright, I lost 100,000, 2,000 guns, only 75 tanks and 85 airplanes. So it's pretty decent losses here. And I introduced over 500,000 soldiers and 7,000 guns and 800 new airplanes. So this turn 5, the Soviet army is getting substantially stronger. That's good. And it seems like, let's see if we can do the center and northern part of the front. We have the first line here, Novgorod. I'm taking advantage of the heavy forts and the mountain rough hexes here. Okay, so I now have a double line outside Novgorod, but I know this is not going to be enough. And then I seem to be starting to building a secondary line here around Leningrad itself. We now have a line here at the river, but Veliki Luki has been crushed this turn. We have security troops. That's not going to hold, is it? And it seems like 4 or 5 banged up divisions. So I know the Valtai Hills will be under heavy pressure in this campaign. And as you can see, yep, that's the reason. They have very heavy infantry here pushing up into the Valtai Hills. Well, it leads nowhere, except if you want to cut off the railroad to Leningrad. But I remember I was very heavily pressed there. The Moscow line is still here. Okay, let's examine the, what would you call it, center. Guess I have some sort of line, an army, light blue army, western front. What am I defending here? Like a fallback line behind Veliki Luki, and now Smolensk has fallen, so I've taken up a secondary line. This looks rather nice. We even have a second line here. I wonder if this is the Bryansk front. I guess it is. And I don't know why this is light blue. Maybe it's western front. I'm still holding on to Bryansk. But then below, south of Bryansk, all the way down to Kursk, which seems to have gotten a lot of reinforcements here. I'll check out this army in a while. But there's a huge gap in the line here for the Axis forces to just exploit towards Orel and up towards Tula. And I think the AI actually will use this. I can't remember, but we'll check it out. I do seem to have some sort of river defense line here. I wonder if that's the... Is that the militia? No. Maybe it's newly deployed troops, these ones. I wouldn't know. Right. So let's first off, how large is the Kursk army here? 21st Army is 93,000 men. So that's a proper army. Let's get and that might be the Gomel army that pulled back by rail. Yeah, yeah. A lot of them are on rail. So I basically gave up the entire, what would you call it, Pripyat marshes south of the center front. I just gave that up. So let's examine what happened. So I guess I'm holding on, slowing down at Kiev. Since he only the AI has only infantry here, I don't know if this is a good choice or not. But I do have, look, he has kind of consolidated his beachhead across the Dnieper, and I have created some sort of line here along the Poltava River. Okay, this actually doesn't look too shabby. We have a second line with tanks. Am I learning to use reserves? And then we have like another Kharkov line here. I'm already starting to set up. Oh, you know what? Back then, you could definitely build up level 2 fortifications way behind then the front line. So there was a point in actually deploying troops back here and starting to build, because it takes, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe even 4 turns, depending on how good your experienced your troops are, to build level 2 forts. Okay, this doesn't look too shabby right now. We'll see how it goes. I think the south worked out okay in this campaign. I think this looks decent enough. Right. Okay, I didn't mean... Okay. Ignore that. And in the very... Okay, look at this. We have forts popping up outside Sevastopol. We have a couple of mountain divisions here. We have security along the river. And then we have very thinly held the crossing into the isthmus. Another division here, the strait. You know what I want to do? I want to check out Odessa, because now you can see there's a combat here. Let's check that out. So, map info, combats. Wait. Ground. No. Oh, they did not attack. They attacked Kherson here. So we held. That's impressive. How do I go to the next? And then I retreated with only 3,000 losses. Okay, so they took Kherson this turn, but they didn't attack Odessa. And that probably means I still have my one division along with the 63,000. Was it? Oh, no, I popped in another. I probably sent by sea another division into Odessa. So we're now talking 76 plus another 13. So that's almost 90,000 troops in Odessa. What's the fortification level? 3 and 62%. Okay, so I was certainly fighting for Odessa. Let me know in the comments if you watch this, if you know nowadays. I think versus a human player, you cannot afford to spend, what is it, how many divisions? 1 outside and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 infantry divisions to hold on to Odessa. Because maybe if you do that, it's too expensive to assault it, but you just leave the Romanians besieging it, and then the Germans will have an easier time advancing here, and you just leave it to rot on the branch or whatever. Like, yeah. But I know we're gonna see fighting at Odessa. So we're in the 20th of July here, and it's looking okay for now. I know it's gonna turn very much worse. So admin, nope, map info scripts. We're gonna go to map men. We go from 2.2 to 2. Almost 2.8. So substantial 500,000 reinforcement here. Guns from 30 to 38. 8,000 new artillery pieces coming on map. We're not pulling any tanks on. Couple of 800 planes on the map. So the Red Army is getting stronger. All right. I wish there was more detail I could give you, but it's gonna take such a long time if I do. If you have any questions, I have these saves. I'm gonna save these saves. So if anyone wanna examine it or give comments, please let me know. So we're gonna go from turn 5 to turn 6. Turn 6 end. Yeah, this is a day after, or is it the same day? It's actually the same day, later in the day. So I was playing quite intensively here at the end of May. Yeah, I remember I got bitten by the game, and since the AI at 120 is so strong, it's really challenging to stop him. 100,000 losses and 2,000 artillery, 100 tanks and 200 planes. You know, I don't like the ground losses so much, but the tanks and the airplanes that can afford that. Another almost 300,000 troops, and artillery is being replaced, and 1,000 airplanes. So again, getting strong. Yeah, I do have a vague memory feeling like, ooh, this is going well. I'm really strong. But what I don't realize is that supply is catching up with the Wehrmacht and the Axis forces, as long as his infantry catching up and resting up, and they're preparing for wave 2, like the second offensive, and that's gonna hit hard. So 27th of July, I think this will be the last turn in this stream. Tallinn is still holding on here. I only have a rifle regiment of almost 3,000 troops holding the. That makes sense. Let's examine a little bit closer here. Like we have Marine brigades. Oh, that would be militia. Yeah, I remember this militia. I was thinking, like, I'm gonna have such high forts and it's gonna be city terrain. So what I'll do, and if I get cut off and these troops get eliminated inside Leningrad, I remember this from War and East 1. Like, I don't want to sacrifice my best troops here, so I'll put my militia in the front, in the very good, heavily fortified positions of the town itself. And then, like 9. This is a really good division. 9 defense, 9 defense against 7 defense, 6 defense, 6 defense, 7, 6. So you see, it seems like I have made an effort to place good infantry divisions, high quality troops in front of the German panzers here. And we do have beat up troops here, 162 behind 3,000. They need to rest and refit. Okay. It doesn't seem like the 24th Army here is getting much pressure on it. Wonder how strong this is. 120,000. So yeah, I made a real effort of covering the, what's it called again? The Zdaryevska crossing, or Lake Ilmen, south of Lake Ilmen. The security troops out here in the wilderness, they're holding, and yeah, I guess the line here. Let's see if I can get a bit of drawing on here. East of Veliki Luki, I'm slowly falling back. Why am I keeping a province? Oh, am I falling back from my fort? Yeah, I think I am. I think these are so weak, these divisions. It's my guess that I'm leaving the forts to shorten my line. And here we have another. This seems like a rather strong 6, 6, 3, 8, 4. This is a decent infantry line. Although 1 defense, 4 defense, 6, 6, 6, 4. And these troops have only 2 in defense, so they're very weak. Whereas our tanks and These are pretty strong. And now I have another line here. And I pointed at the militias to the reserve front behind here. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Actually, I mean, considering the AI isn't very maneuverable, just bludgeoning itself ahead here, this looks fairly good. So what's happening south of Smolensk and Vyazma here? Well, nothing much exciting, I suppose. We have a line here. And then we have a skirmish line around Bryansk. I guess zonal control, trying to slow down the enemy. But then Orel to Kursk has a proper line, more or less. And we have one Panzer Corps here, outside Bryansk. Turn 6. I think this is not a strong line, but considering what you can do in 1941, I mean, it's not like I am fighting for Orel and Kursk, right? Bryansk seems it's gonna fall, but and then ooh, look at this! Look at this! Will you look at this breakthrough here? I don't. What happened here? Maybe I want to check after the German combat here, because it certainly seems that I just ran for my life out of this pocket here. But remember how I felt like this was this kind of the strongest part of my line? The Germans been sitting here for 2 or 3 turns, refitting, resting with their panzers. And when they moved out from this, they just choose to go not around this way, but around across the river, crushing the town, which is very easily defended terrain. Maybe I didn't defend it hard enough. I mean, a human player surely would have cut off all my forces inside here. But look at the amount of terrain I had to give up because of this. And you can clearly see that I am bunched up here. I have troops that hasn't gotten back in time and gotten inside the line. But the Kharkov line is starting to materialize here along the river. I even have cavalry coming out, starting to defend the Stalino line. But you need more than cavalry on turn 6 with all these German panzers here. Let me tell you, this does not bode well for the Rostov defenses here. Not at all. I might go back and check out how these turns looked at the start, because I want to see. Well, they didn't seem to manage. I guess my troops just retreated and then they ran. So maybe it's not that exciting. But imagine if they had closed this gap here. See, yeah, this is when I realized that the AI in War and Peace 2 is much stronger than in the first version. It's decent, but it doesn't encircle like a human player. And I'm kind of disappointed still about that. Because, you know what I'm saying. And in the south, yeah, we lost the river crossing, and I pulled back to the peninsula here, to the straits, and I'm defending. But look, there's mostly cavalry here in the second line. There's just a few mountain divisions. This is kind of a weak front defense. We're still building forts around Sevastopol. Let's check Odessa. First off, Fort is 3 and 68%, so they haven't attacked this turn. And since I'm changing colors, I suppose 100,000 troops in Odessa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 divisions. Alright. I don't know why the Germans didn't attack, but I guess... Oh, okay, so they pushed me out of this river position here with a lot of battles. Can you tell here? A bunch of battles here. So I get to fight a bit. Oh no, they did attack Odessa. So the first attack was held. They attacked with 37,000 versus my 91,000. So that means I must have pulled in another division, right? Since I only have 92 and now I have 100,000. And can you see how much fort level you lose? It doesn't seem like I lost any fort level because I am still on 3.68. Right. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Anything else? I guess not. Let's see when it comes to on map men. Germans axis are slowly losing and we're going up from 2.7 to 3 million men. Guns increase. Oh, did I check this already? AFVs, we do not deploy tanks yet. We keep, okay, we're going from 4.8 to 5.7k aircraft. So I'm deploying it heavily my old airplanes. Right. I guess, you know, what am I building? What am I using my action points for? Leaders, forts, new units? I don't know. I can't remember. We'll have to skip that. All right. Thank you so very much for watching. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support this game, which doesn't get too much coverage on YouTube, please like, subscribe, you know the drill. And let me know in the comment, how did you experience the game the first couple of months when it came out? Were you like me, studying the manual, trying to learn desperately, getting to grasp with the air system, and having a blast doing it? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one, August. Thank you. See you.